If you want to be able to ride stronger and for as long as possible, one of the best things that you can do is to make sure that your bike is set perfectly for you. In this video, we're talking to Johnny Aboud. He's a doctor of physical therapy and a professional bike fitter, and he's going to tell us all about bike fitting. So stay tuned, roll the intro.
How you doing? Here with Johnny and Domestique Cycling app. Going to ask you a couple questions today. Go over about bike fitting and some things, to help out with, overall riding experience, and with your expertise. I think this is something people would be really interested in.
Awesome, let's do it.
Yeah. I guess the first question is, can you tell me a little bit about your background?
Yeah, so I grew up racing, started 5Ks when I was 10 years old, so I was on the swim team when I was young, and then started cycling when I was 15. Got into the science background and ended up getting my doctorate in physical therapy. Worked in Iowa for a year, moved down to Florida where the cycling and triathlon scene was pretty awesome. So got into working with endurance athletes and eventually getting my bike fit certification. So I got my certification through physical therapy on ICE, Institute of Clinical Excellence. And then I started bike fitting about 4 years ago.
Wow. That's awesome.
Yeah.
So do you work in sports medicine?
Yeah. So I'm a physical therapist. I actually work on my own now, treating endurance athletes as my primary focus. I do some bike fitting, dry needling, physical therapy, and custom orthotics, all to help enhance the cycling and endurance athlete experience.
And you had mentioned what the certification that you have for the bike fitting is?
Yeah, so it's a certification through a physical therapy educational program. So it's taught by physical therapists because with our background in physical therapy, we might look at the athlete a little bit differently than maybe a mechanic who took a weekend course.
No, sure.
Yeah.
That's awesome. Can you share some examples of the challenges that you get when bike fitting?
Yeah, so, some people are really easy to fit. They come in, you make the adjustments, and they're good to go. Others, they're like, I've been to, 10 fitters. I just can't figure out what's wrong. I'm still having this pain. So some people are a little bit more challenging to fit than others. And sometimes it's not always the bike, it's us. We have to improve some things on our own as well.
Yeah. Do you get nervous with those?
They are a little bit challenging, but it's really nice when I make a suggestion and they go, I haven't heard of that before. I'm like, okay, they haven't heard of that. They've been to 10 places. Hopefully this is the missing key,
That's awesome.
Yeah.
And it's got to feel great if you were able to get that from that guy,
Yes.
Yeah,
getting that text message that week saying, hey, I finally feel good. Thank you so much is like,
that's awesome. Yeah. Talk to about bike fitting in general. Purpose, objective, performance, comfort.
Yeah, so most of the time people come to me because they're having pain. I would say that's like 75% is, hey, I'm getting numbness, tingling, pain here or there. Some people just come because, hey, I got a new bike. I want to make sure my measurements are the same. And some people are like, I feel pretty good, but can you make me better? So as far as, fitting in general, those are the main reasons people come to me, and then we go from there. If you're uncomfortable, you're most likely not going to perform well. If you're trying to do a 10-second sprint, you can probably be a little bit uncomfortable and put out some good watts. But when you're out there for a while, if you're not comfortable, if your feet are going numb, your hands are tingling, your back hurts, you're not going to be performing as good if those things weren't there.
100% agree.
Yeah.
And it's such a mental game too. So if your physical is not on, your mental definitely isn't on.
Yeah. Just like if you get a flat tire or you think you have a flat tire, the whole ride you're like checking your air pressure, like, wait, is it flat again? It's in your once it's in your head, it's in your head.
Once it's in your head. Are there different levels of fitting, like a basic to like a super pro or? That's
actually a question I get asked a lot. In my world, there really isn't. You're either in the right position or you're not. Yeah. So I don't want to take someone and say, I'm going to give you a basic fitting. Because to me, that's saying, I'm just going to barely do anything. And you're not advanced enough to really, to me, I don't believe in that. I'm going to put you in the best position for you. Now, a pro, they're going to be in a more advanced position potentially because they're a pro. A novice, well, they're going to be in a position that best fits them. So it's not like I'm going to do, a beginner fit or an advanced fit. It's a fit based on the athlete.
Right. It's just you know,
Right.
I'm a professional, you're getting the professional fit. That's
Yeah.
just what you do.
Yeah, the angle, it's not like there's different angles for different levels.
Right.
It's, hey, you're either in the right spot or you're not.
Yeah, that's great. It's perfect. You know,
Yeah.
this is the right fit. It's not, you know, a half fit or a quarter fit. It's the right fit.
And I've had people come to me who have said, yeah, they just gave me a beginner fit when they got the bike. When I got the bike, you know, they're like, oh, you know, we just raised the seat up and I didn't really feel like I got a fitting. I go, yeah, you didn't. You know, a fitting is a fitting. It's not just eyeballing.
Right. You got an adjustment.
Right. Yeah.
Again, my name is Andrew. We're here with Johnny, you know, going over some fitting techniques and talking about fitting. The problems with the bike and the rider biomechanics, can that be corrected by fitting?
Yeah, in a lot of circumstances it can be. You know, if we're not getting a full pedal stroke, if our saddle is too far back and our hips are wobbling, our hip angle is closed, that can cause issues. But there are circumstances where there is an issue with, you know, your knee and the bike fit won't fix that. You know, you might need to look elsewhere to fix the knee to then help with the bike fit.
When looking for a bike fitter, what should they be looking for in terms of credentials, experience? I mean, this is obviously something that, you know, people, you know, want to get the best bang for their buck.
Yeah, so obviously a little biased. You know, I think
sure.
someone in the medical background, a physical therapist, is going to hopefully provide a little bit more insight than someone who doesn't know about the body. Someone comes to me and they go, hey, I've got shoulder impingement. I can work with that. I can recommend exercises. I can know how to adjust the fit. Where someone who might not have a medical background might go, oh, is that like a nerve impinge? Do you need to go see a chiropractor? You know, that they might not know exactly what that means and just do the fitting, and then the person still has that.
Hence the basic fit compared to
Right.
a pro fit.
Right,
And,
exactly.
yeah.
Exactly.
And where do you go to find a fitter?
A lot of bike shops have them. So, for example, I'm at Team Cycles in Boca, and our agreement there is because I do have the medical background that I'll be able to provide a top-notch fit.
That's awesome.
Yep.
Yeah. And talk about the fitting process.
Yeah, so a lot of the fitting, we start with the back end of the bike, the saddle position, the angle, fore, aft, height. We get that all dialed in, and then we'll go to the front end of the bike. Front end of the bike still has science, but a lot more of it is comfort. So we go through a lot of those and always double checking, because once you move one part, then another part changes and going back and forth. And the thing I tell all my clients is you're perfect on the trainer, but you have to go out and ride. You go out and ride it a week or two, and you come back and say, hey, Johnny, you know, I feel really good, but my right hand is still bothering me a little. You come back. I make it right. I truly want you to be comfortable on the bike.
Right.
And sometimes it takes a little bit of time to go out there. The trainer, you don't get a lot of that medial lateral movement. You're on the trainer for, you know, a couple minutes here or there. The fitting process is like an hour. So when you go out and ride 100 miles, you might find some things that we didn't necessarily get to during the fitting process.
Right. What technologies, tools do you use in the bike fitting process?
Yeah, so I use a motion analysis software on my phone, as well as just my background as a physical therapist, a triathlete, a cyclist, and use those all together. I'll take hand measurements, video measurements, I'll show you the video, so we can kind of work through and you can kind of understand why I'm making the changes I'm making.
Oh, yeah, makes perfect sense. Yeah.
Yep. So a lot of places use something like Retool, but it's only as good as the fitter. If someone places the Retool sensors on you in maybe the wrong spot, then the whole fitting is going to be off. So you really have to know what you're doing and why you're doing it.
No, for sure.
Mm-hmm.
So the difference is mountain bike, gravel, road, tri when it comes down to fitting. Yeah,
so the mountain bike itself it's just a whole different bike, right? You know, you've got these wide handlebars, your brake levers are at a different position, seat angle's a little bit different, seat height's a little bit different, but not too much. As far as road and triathlon, on a tri bike you're going to be a little bit further forward and a little bit lower because you want to save your quads, or you want to use your quads and save your hamstrings for the run. And gravel and road, pretty similar, because especially down here, we ride our gravel bikes like our road bikes.
For sure.
And now the gravel bikes are actually coming with very similar geometry to road bikes, and people are riding gravel on the road. And so those two are pretty similar.
And I think tri too, you're going to be in one position for a long time. Compared to mountain biking, you're up and down, you're up and down.
Yeah, so mountain biking's interesting because you get the seat dropper post, and it's like, okay, we The fitting is different. A lot of times on mountain bike, the biggest things we look at is the angle of the brake levers, just because the hands are always on the bars, the width of the bars, and then for every single fitting, cleat placement. First contact of the bike. If that's off, everything's going to be off.
Yeah, I think cleat placements are probably, as you would know, probably very important when it comes to cycling and all genres of cycling. To the point, people should reach out to you before they purchase that new bicycle.
Make sure it's the right size.
You're getting the right size, and you're getting the right bike right off the bat. So I think that's a good point. Coming to the fitters prior to purchasing the bicycle, reaching out to you and seeing, making sure you get the right size. So
especially because as cyclists, we all have that bin in our garage of like old useless parts that we've like swapped out over time. So if you come to me right away, I can say, hey, this size crank, this size handlebar, make sure you get this offset or zero offset seat post, and then the bike is built, and then you don't have a bin of stuff that you're going to sell one day. And
bin free zones.
Yes.
Now I think that's a point. I think a lot of people don't even think about that going prior to purchasing the bicycle. And
in bikes nowadays, it's almost like clothes. In one size you get a shirt that's a medium, in another it's a large.
For sure.
Pants, even though it's this size, it's not this size. There are certain bikes, like I think Windspace, their 58 is really like a 54, and so all of that stuff can really throw you off if you don't know exactly what you're dealing with.
No, for sure. Yeah, great point. And being a physical therapist, do you collaborate with coaches or other people in industry to help benefit the riders?
Yeah, definitely. Even though I have a medical background and I do the fittings, I'm not a coach. I haven't taken the certifications. I haven't done any of that stuff. So me giving advice on coaching, it's like, if you go out on a bike ride and someone's giving you, coaching on the fitting who, doesn't know anything about it. You want the people who have the best education to give you the best advice. So my coach, his name is Cheyenne. He's in Weston, and I relate everything to him. He gives me my workouts. He tells me exactly what to do. And then whenever people ask me, I go, ask him. He's the expert.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, everybody's an expert in their field.
Right.
So, can you share some success stories that you've had with bike fitting, improving clients' riding and, overall, well-being on the bike?
Yeah. On a weekly basis, I'm getting text messages saying, oh my gosh, I finally feel right. Hey, I had no pain. I put out so much power. I just felt so much more comfortable. So, I can't even say there's like one success story. Hopefully there's all success stories, right?
Sure.
Everyone who comes to me, they're like, thank you so much. I feel so much better. I can't wait to go ride more.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Yeah.
It's got to be just a great feeling when they're reaching out to you and you really know you help this guy out and he likes cycling even more, and especially because you obviously love the industry, love the sport, for you to just continue racing and keeping on. So
and I get these text messages all the time, and the clients, they don't have to text me. The fact that they're so happy that they went out of their way to send me a message and say, hey, really, thank you. This was awesome. It means a lot. It's why I do it.
No, for sure.
Yeah.
Not to give up any trade secrets, but a little tip maybe for somebody to help them out on the bicycle?
Yes. So anyone who asks me these questions, I always say shorter crank arms. Research is showing shorter crank arms are opening up hip angles, keeping the pelvis more stable. Zero offset seat posts, because in general, the saddles have become shorter and the bikes are coming with offset seat posts. So it's throwing us backwards, closing up that hip angle that I just tried to open with a shorter crank. And for most people, we can even start to go more narrow handlebars.
Okay.
So as far as maybe not secrets during the fitting process, but those are all things that I look forward to help someone and educate them on why those things can help.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
For sure.
Because then when you come to me and you do the bike fit, I go, you need a zero offset.
We're going to go through all this again.
Right, exactly.
If someone has done this but feels that they would still benefit from professional bike fitting, how can they get in touch with you?
So I have my Instagram that people can reach out to. A lot of people have my phone number. I'm pretty easy to get a hold of. I'm at Toon Cycles. My personal phone number is out there anyway. You'll see me on rides. I'm always getting asked questions after bike rides like, hey, my foot feels off. Can you help me? Or, I'm having the shoulder pain or whatnot. So between Instagram, Toon Cycles, my phone number, word of mouth. Yeah, that signal, you name it.
Cool. Well, Thank you very much. It was awesome to talk to you.
Yeah,
It's
likewise.
I think you're fantastic what you're doing, helping people out. Part of the community, part of cycling. We're a small group, but
Yeah,
we're awesome.
I agree. I
Yeah.
agree. Here are the top reasons that you need a professional bike fitting. Maybe your hands go numb. Maybe your feet are going numb. Maybe you got some neck pain, some back pain, some knee pain. Maybe your saddle area is going numb. You're getting saddle sores. Or maybe you just bought a new bike. You want to make sure to get fitted properly so none of this stuff happens in the first place.
Thank you for watching our video. Remember to like, subscribe, share, and all the other YouTube things. All of us together, we can make South Florida an even better cycling community. See you in the next one.